welcome to the Miller Human Performance Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. As I've mentioned in the last episode, I want to know what you want to hear here. So shoot me a DM at Miller_performance on Instagram. Send me an email. That's millerhumanperformance@gmail.com. Okay, send me questions. Let me know what you want to hear because I want to give you the answers that you need. Okay, today we're going to talk about a big topic. We're looking at consistency for long-term success and keeping promises to yourself. Okay, it's going to have to do with the warm-up, and we're going to get into it here in a minute. Also, check out the MHP Basketball Strength and Conditioning Program. That's on my website, millerhumanperformance.com/basketball. Spots are still open. Go check it out. You don't want to miss that. Now, today, consistency, long-term success, the big hack. How are we going to achieve this? You have to understand that the thing that's going to bring the best result is a well-structured program performed consistently over a long period of time. There's no getting around this fact. Consistency breeds results. But there's something that we have to consider here, which is we've all committed to a workout routine or a diet and not followed it through. Maybe that's the only outcome you've had in your personal commitments. Maybe you've never followed something all the way through to completion. Okay? It's more common than you think. The result of this is you no longer trust yourself to follow through, and this is a really dangerous place to be. It's one thing to think that you're not in great shape, to have some kind of negative outlook on where you're at today. It's an entirely different thing to believe deep down that you're incapable of getting out of that place due to your inability to stay consistent. Your belief in your ability to change is probably going to be one of the biggest factors in how much change actually occurs. Your beliefs shape your outcomes. So if you're going to be successful, we need to reshape your beliefs. This requires more than simply looking yourself in the mirror and saying that you will do it this time. You need more than short-term motivation. You need proof that you can pull this off. You get proof by setting a bar at a level that you can reasonably achieve and hitting that mark every single day. Okay, so how are we going to do this? This is my proposition to you. Commit today to never missing the warm-up to your workouts. Okay, you know what that means? That means if life is really busy and the hour-long workout that you planned for yourself is not going to be possible, you're going to skip the workout, but you're going to do the warm-up. There's a few different things that might happen when you do this, because maybe it's not always a time commitment. Maybe it's energy. Maybe you just don't feel up to it. Maybe you feel energized, but you just are energized for different things. You want to do something different. You don't want to be working out right now. There's so many different reasons why that workout might not be super appealing to you that day. And for a lot of people, that usually results in just not doing anything. Because if you only have half an hour, but you have an hour workout planned, a lot of people will just say, well, what's the point? And just try to get it the next day. So a few things that will happen when you commit to just the warm-up. You're only going to commit to the warm-up. First, you might actually finish the warm-up and feel eager to keep going. If that's the case, congrats. You did a whole workout that you weren't going to do in the first place. That's a huge win. You were going to take that day off. You did the warm-up. That got you feeling good and motivated, and you did a workout that you weren't going to do otherwise. That's a huge win. 2, you might do a compressed version of your workout, either by doing a few exercises or going through the entire plan, but only doing 1 or 2 sets of each. Maybe once you're in the gym and you're warm, you're feeling good, maybe time is still tight. Time is still a limitation, but now you have that energy, that momentum to carry in, and you want to do something. That's still a huge win. You've still done more than you would have done otherwise. 3rd, you might not feel up for any exercises, but you'll go through the rest of the day feeling much better than you did before. The increased blood flow and mobility from the warm-up can do wonders for your mood and energy for the day. So it can act as a little booster. Rather than a warm-up for the workout, it's a warm-up for your day and helps you perform at your best physically and mentally. The 4th situation that might happen if all you do is go through the warm-up, is you might feel no different. Motivation might not change at all, but that's still a huge, huge win. And I'm going to tell you why. Even if you get no immediate benefit from doing the warm-up, you don't feel any better, you will still have gotten in some aerobic work, some kind of benefit to the body. Because what you've done is about 15 minutes of elevated heart rate. Now, not exhaustingly elevated, but in that aerobic zone that contributes to your conditioning, that contributes to your recovery. You've also made steps to improve your mobility and movement quality through the different activation and mobility drills in your warm-up. And we're going to talk about this later too. And most importantly, you've put in the rep that was required to maintain your schedule and consistency. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to talk about this more at the end because I think this is the biggest piece. But let's break down the physical benefits. So a good warm-up consists of something dynamic that gets your heart rate elevated and body temperature raised. This could be as simple as jogging or as complex as skipping progressions and footwork drills. This could be done in as little as 3 to 5 minutes. This does not need to be drawn out and complex. Just get your heart rate up. If you can break a bit of a sweat, perfect. Then you want to do something for mobility. You want to consider areas that are specifically tight for you, as well as areas that will be of high demand in the upcoming workout. As an example, if you were going to be squatting, you would probably want to mobilize your ankles, hamstrings, and glutes, among other things. Generally, dynamic stretching is preferred over static stretching before a workout to maintain the muscle's ability to produce force. Dynamic simply means you're not going to stay in that stretch. You're going to stretch for a few seconds and then move to a different position. And you can just kind of pulse in and out, or it can be even more dynamic than that. Following your mobility work, you want to do some muscle activation. Again, consider your individual needs and what the workout will demand. Usually one set of 8 to 12 reps for each exercise you choose. If we use the squat as an example again, you might do glute bridges, banded hip flexor work, planks, and bodyweight squats as examples. Finally, you want to stimulate the nervous system by doing something fast and explosive. This could be a few sets of sprints, med ball throws, jumps, agility drills, or other similar movements. The key here is high intent with low fatigue. Don't tire yourself out, just stimulate the system. If you want more of a breakdown, I have another podcast on this topic titled Mastering the Warm-Up, as well as a corresponding blog post of the same title available on millerhumanperformance.com. All in all, you can get this done in 15 minutes or less with absolutely no equipment. So time and resources can never really be an excuse to get this done. Because you'll be continuously moving through all these sections for about 15 minutes straight, you'll get that low-level aerobic stimulus that I mentioned for your cardiovascular system. Great for your health, fitness, and recovery. So if you're beat down that day, this can help. You'll also get the mobility and activation work, which, if chosen correctly, provides better movement quality, health, and overall function over a period of time. Finally, a small dose of something fast can be a great stimulus for sustaining your athleticism if you aren't going to be going through a workout that day. So you can maintain qualities developed in past workouts by just microdosing those fast movements. And it can also be something that stimulates the nervous system. It can also be something that mentally wakes you up as well. Now, you have to build up that belief that you can follow something through. The biggest thing here, because you're just going to commit to the warm-up, is that you actually commit to this and you actually get it done. You have to get this in every single day that you plan to do a workout. I think of the quote, if you don't have 5 minutes to meditate, you need an hour. So if you don't feel like you have any time to get this warm up in, those 15 minutes to just get moving, it might be the most important thing you do that day. If you're so stressed with work and school and whatever other commitments you have going on, this little break to get moving might be the best thing for you. I'm going to give you some action steps. Get your calendar and notepad ready. If possible, if you're driving, maybe revisit this part later. First thing I want you to do is plan out your warm-up immediately. Use what you learned today, and again, go check out my other resources on the topic to build your warm-up routine. You could make 2 different ones if your workouts are split into upper and lower days, but honestly, this should be kept very simple. I would recommend just making one warm-up for now that covers all your major muscle groups and personal weaknesses, and make sure it can be done in 15 minutes or less. The first step is always the most important. Do not skip this step. In fact, just in case anyone listening isn't going to take this seriously, here's a really simple warm-up that you can use as a starting point. No excuses. Get a pen and paper ready because I'm going to rapid fire here. To start, light to moderate jumping jacks or jogging on the spot for 3 to 5 minutes. Alternate between the two if you want. Child's pose to upward dog, 8 times, alternating, holding a few seconds in each position. Hip flexor stretch, 2-second holds, 8 times per side. Quad stretch, 2-second holds, 8 times per side. Hamstring stretch, 2-second holds, 8 times per side. Pec stretch against the wall, 2-second holds, 8 times per side. Lat stretch, 2-second holds, 8 times per side. Glute bridge, 12 reps. Reverse lunge, 6 reps each. YTWs on your stomach, 6 times each. Push-ups 8 times, elevated to prevent fatigue. Side plank 15 seconds each side. Front plank 30 seconds. And squat jumps, 3 sets of 4 reps, getting as high as possible with lots of rest between sets. Go look up videos for those exercises if you need to. If you don't know what to do, there it is. There's your plan. That's what you're going to do. Modify it as you go to address your own needs. Now that that's covered, your second step is to schedule your workouts. Over the next week, which days will you work out and when? Get it in your calendar right now. Make sure that you set reminders in the calendar app. And even better, if you can leave a note about your commitment to yourself in that reminder. No matter what, on days that you've scheduled a workout, you're going to go through that predetermined warm-up. If that's seriously all you can do that day, you've still accomplished a lot and made progress in your self-beliefs and your habits. The last thing I'm going to get you to do is to set a reminder at the end of the week to reflect. Take 5 to 10 minutes to ask yourself, 1, did I stick with my commitment to myself? In other words, did you do at least the warm-up on every day that you schedule to work out? We're not even looking at the workout right now. We're just building these fundamental habits. Number 2, if not, what prevented you from doing that? Reflect on it. What got in the way? And then finally, number 3, what can you do to be prepared if the same thing happens next week? Okay, this is in preparation and planning, and that's how you're going to succeed at this. Figure out what prevents you from staying consistent and plan for strategies to get around it. Set that plan in place and attack the next week. Continue to stack consistency week after week. This is how you're going to overcome those limiting beliefs and start to develop that confidence and that habit of showing up every day. We're not going to take any more days off. I love the quote, modify, don't miss. You're never going to miss a workout day again. It just might be a lot shorter than you planned, and that's fine. As you build that habit of showing up again and again and again, you'll probably find you start actually doing more of the workouts. By showing up and doing the warm-ups, you're building just the fundamental schedule, the habit, the belief that you can show up and do this thing. Okay, I think in most cases, going through with the workouts is just going to come naturally and will happen over time. Okay, if it doesn't, then you can repeat a lot of these same strategies to then start to be more consistent with following through with the whole thing. So I've given you the action steps. I've laid out the plan. I don't know what excuses you can make at this point. I got nothing for you. All you got to do is show up. Set the plan. I've given you everything you need. I gave you the warm up. Go back, listen again if you need to. All you're going to do is show up and get it done. Consistency over everything. Modify, don't miss. Thank you all for listening. Peace.